Yeah, I have it. Guys, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, fine. So you can proceed further. Let me call to the person who has not joined. Mm, Give me one more minute. We can quickly start.
Vikas,
Yeah,
it's okay to ask a question?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting this conflict error again and again. I don't know what wrong I'm doing. In a get call, I'm getting a conflict error. How to avoid that?
Can you share your screen? Like what action you are doing, you are getting the conflict error. Can you show me? You can share your screen and show me.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah. So I think,
Got it.
madam, what you are trying to do, you are doing the action in the same method, in the already saved method. I
Okay,
think you're
got
making the
it.
changes.
Got it. I'll try.
Okay, if you are doing any changes, like if you are creating any request, so create the separate one. If you try to do it in the existing one, then I think you will get the conflict issue.
Okay, Vikas, I'll try.
Okay. Let me share my screen quickly. Okay, can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, Vikas.
Okay, fine. So in yesterday class, we have discussed about different methods in details. Like in the REST API, we are using generally 5 methods, get, which is get, post, put, patch, and delete. Okay. So one thing I want to say you, did you know what is the meaning of CRUD? CRUD.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, go ahead.
Create, read, update, and delete. That's the CRUD. That's the basic. You
Yes.
know.
So the CRUD means, sometime if any requirements coming to you, right. So what happened? Developer implemented that thing, and the developer asks you that, or product owner or the client asking you that you have to do the CRUD operation. So the CRUD operation means you have to create the data, you can update the data, you can replace the data, you can delete the data. Okay, so the full form of the CRUD. Okay, here you can see CRUD. So why I'm explaining you, generally in IT sector we are using this term, the CRUD operation. So CRUD operation means to create or update the data. R means to read the data, U means to update or replace the data, and the D means delete the data. Okay, so that is the meaning of CRUD. Okay, if any client or any team, any of your team member or any senior person asking you that you have to do the CRUD operation, so that means you don't have to only create the data. That means you have to create the data also, update the data also, replace the data also, and delete the data also. So you have to verify these all 5 actions. Basically, that is the CRUD. Okay, so now we are moving to the next point. Here you can see I have draw the one simple diagram. You can see the client sending the request, right? And I told you we are selecting the JSON, right? We have to ask to the server the request which we are passing to the server. It is in the form of JSON. If you are passing JSON, then you have to select the JSON. If you are passing XML format, then you have to pass the XML. Okay, and you can
I
see the
have a
get.
question. Vikas?
Yeah, yeah.
Now everything we are doing is manual, but I don't think we that much time is available during the testing to do everything manually. So what is the method, or how does this API happen? Do we automate it? Is there any automation that happens, or is it done manually? I
Yeah.
don't think
Uh,
because
First, we
this.
will clear all the manual concept. Okay. After then, we'll switch to the automation side,
Okay, but
because this
automation
course is
happens, right?
regarding manual and automation, both the thing.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
We
I
have
just
the
wanted to know because I don't think there is so much time to do everything manually. So I just wanted to know if there is automation.
yes, there is. Okay. So you can see it here. For, why I'm giving you the whole concept of the API, the basic the concept of the API. If I directly switch on the automation, you can't understand.
No,
You,
no, I
yes, you
just
can do
asked.
the automation.
No, no, I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
asked. Yeah.
So yeah, no problem. So that's why first try to understand the basic concept. What is the API concept? Even in the interview, they will not ask you that much of the question related to the automation. They will ask you more question regarding the API concept. Okay. So yeah. So you can see it here. We have the different method which we are passing: get, post, put, and delete, and the patch as well. Okay. So we have different HTTP method, and it's connecting with the server. You can see it using the HTTP protocol to connect with the server, right? And then server giving the response to the client. Okay, so before moving to our one more requirement, that is this one. Okay, where we will create the employee object and we will map this requirement. So before this requirement, I want to explain you one small concept, that is JSON. That is JSON, right? We are using the JSON in our Postman, right? But you have to know what is the JSON, guys. One thing I also want to explain you. Till now till now whatever the concept I have explained you regarding the API testing, all the concept is applicable in any tool. If you pick any tool, not only Postman, if you pick any tool, let's suppose in future you are working on the SOAP UI or REST Assure or JMeter, or some other tool, Cypress, right? APG. So the concept of API is same. Till now whatever I have explained you, the concept of API is same. It's applicable for any tool. It's the basic concept of the API. Okay, so whatever I will explain you in as part of this course, 60% is applicable for all the course, for all the tool which we will use in future. Like because in IT sector nothing is fixed. Right now you are using the Postman tool. In a few months, 6 months, 1 year, or even after 1 month also your project will get changed and you are working on the some other tool, right? Like SOAP UI or APZ, REST Assure, right? So you don't know when the things will get changed according to the market, according to the client, right? So that's why till now whatever I have explained you, it is applicable for any tool. The concept is same. The API concept is applicable in any tool, right? Okay, let's move forward. Yeah. Now we are going to discuss JSON. What did you mean by the JSON? The JSON concept is also same in another tool also. If you use SOAP UI, JSON concept is same. So this is the general concept of the APIs. If you use any tool, doesn't matter which tool you are using, the concept will not change here. The way of the things will change. I will show you how the way of the doing the things will change, but the concept will not change. Okay, so now what is the meaning of JSON? JSON means JavaScript object notation. That is the JSON. JSON, it's define the structure. Define the structure of JSON message. The JSON message which we are passing here in the body, here, this is our JSON message. So let me take one post call. This is your JSON message, right? So this is the JavaScript object notation, and it's define the structure of the JSON message, right? And this JSON message is used to validate the request and the response. Validate means what? Validate means when we are sending to the server and we are getting the response. So we are validating that the response, the coming out from the server, it is in the JSON. It is in the form of JSON. Okay, so that's why I have written here, can use to validate the API request and response. So JSON is used to validate your message. Whatever the request message you are passing here, it's validating, it's verifying that the message you have passed, it is in the correct format. So I will explain you how you can create the JSON. Okay. So can be used to validate the API request. What is the API request? Which client is sending to the server, and response. What is the response? The response which we are getting from the server. That is the response. Okay. And the JSON is the lightweight and easy to read. Easy to read. So guys, I have written the JSON message here, right? Can you read this properly or not? Or are you facing any issue like what I have passed in the body? Can you read it? This is the name you have passed. This is the email ID you have passed. This is the gender you have passed. This is the status you have passed. And is this readable or not? It is readable, right? Agree?
Yes, Vikas. Yes, Vikas.
Okay, so if we take some another example, let's suppose go and please start your server. So I'm going to start my server first. I forget to start my server because I have to start doing the testing. So you have to start your server. So let me again open the command prompt. Yeah, and what is the command to start the server? Let me copy that command. Actually, I'm also not remember the command. So let me copy. Yeah, this is the command to start your server. I will copy this command and will go here and paste it here and enter. You can see your server is get started. Now you can start doing the testing. Okay, so what I want to, let me fetch the data. This is your URL, base URL, and I will try to fetch the employees. Okay, you can see the employee. Now tell me, this is readable or not? The first name, prefix, surname, birth surname, email ID, gender, and type. At least you can read it, right? It is easy to understand. Correct, guys? Okay, so that's why it is, I have written here, it is lightweight and easy to read and write. I will explain you how you can write the JSON. Okay, and easily integrate with most of the language. Okay, so let's suppose your project is built in Java, right? The build in Java. So now the question is, can Java language, in Java language, can we use the JSON? Yes, you can use. Let's suppose your project is built in C# or .NET. Can it is integrate, the JSON can integrate with JSON or sorry C# or .NET. Yes, you can. Let's suppose your project is built in Angular. So can we integrate with the Angular? Yes, you can. So that's why it's written here. It is easy to integrate with most of the language. Easy to integrate. So developer are frequently using the JSON, and even tester also as a testing perspective. Developer are using for the development perspective to create the schema, right? And the tester are using for the testing perspective, okay, to validate the API request and the response. Okay, now we'll try to learn what are the types of the JSON, right? So guys, let me create one request, that is a post request, and let me copy the object. Let me copy the object. I have copied the object, so I have created the post body. I have to pass in the body raw and pass it here and select the JSON. This is in the JSON. Okay, now pass the URL here. Okay, this is pass the URL here. So I will copy the URL and pass it here, and this is your body, right? This is your body. Okay, there are multiple objects I have passed, so let me remove the one. Okay, now you can see I have the post method, in which in this scenario I am trying to create the object, trying to create the employee object. Okay, so in JSON we are using different types of the JSON type. You can see it here. Let's discuss one by one. String. So you can see one thing I want to explain you. In JSON we have key value pair, key and value pair. So this is the key. This key is decided by whom? Guys, tell me.
The client.
The client is deciding this key, that what key you have to use in your application, right? So this key is decided by the client. Okay, I will not go deep inside this key, because every project, project to project, this key will change, right? When you join the project, whoever giving you the KT session, they will explain you the functionality of the application. So at that time, when you go through the key, you will easily understand what is the meaning of this key. Right now, only understand this is one key and this is the value, right? And this key is the part of your requirement. Okay, so you can see it here. And one more thing, guys, whenever we are using JSON type, JSON request, we are writing the key inside the double quote. We are writing the key inside the double quote. Always remember, do not try to write this thing like that. It will give you the error. Server will not identify that this is the proper format of JSON. Okay, so always remember, whenever you are writing the key, you have to pass the key in the double quote, right? After then, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we don't get a KT. We are just given the application and we are told to, go through this thing. In that case, how do we get these values, or how are they passed to us? Apart from the Git we download as application, what else is there that we can get this from as a schema or what?
You, please
sometimes we don't get the KT. We just get the details as an application, you know. So this is my application and this is what you need to go through. So in that case, how do we get these details? Is it given to us or how?
If everything in the in your project, we have the Confluence page. Every detail, if the KT is not provided, if you are new in the project, so at least they will provide you the Confluence page document where they have mentioned all the details module wise. Okay, so
Okay.
if they have, you have to go through the Confluence page and they will written all the things in the detail, like what is the meaning of why we are using this call and what are the keys and the value we are passing. They will define all the things in the Confluence. And if you have that thing is not rarely, it is rarely, because in every project we have the documentation, the project documentation, because it is necessary. But let's suppose this thing is also not there and the KT is not provided. Okay, so the collection is only provided to you. In that case, go and play with the collection and try to generate the scenario, try to understand the application. That is the only way to do that.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
now it's up to you how you can understand the thing. Okay, so yeah, you have to pass the key inside the double quote, and after that you have to mention the colon. Okay, after that you will pass the value. Guys, try to understand the format, because every time you will not get the ready-made thing, right? Sometime in your project you have to create the JSON body. If you don't know the format, how to write the JSON, then you will get the error message. You can't create the correct JSON format. So that's why I'm explaining you this thing. Okay, in every time you have to create the correct thing actually. Okay, so where I was going to here, right? So key is written inside the double quote, and after that we are using colon, right? After that the value should be either string, either integer, either boolean, either null, either blank, right? Now discuss one by one. So the first thing is string. First thing is string. So what? Let me open the notepad. So what did you mean by the string? So anything which is written inside the, guys, try to understand, anything which is written inside the double quote, sequence of character. Okay, so anything which is written inside the double quote, let's suppose Vikas, it is considered as a string. Let's suppose I am writing API test. This is a string. Anything which is written inside the double quote, that is known as a string. If we are writing like that, so this thing we will not call as a string. This is a not valid data type. Thus, it will return the error when you write this thing, right? In your Postman or anywhere, either in the Eclipse or IntelliJ, any IDE tool, you will get the error message, the compile time error. Okay, so anything which is written inside the double quote, that is only a string. Now I'm again repeating the same thing. Anything which is written inside the double quote, either it is a character, either it is integer, either it is Boolean value. Right, now tell me 1 2 3 4 5 6. It is a string or integer?
String.
Now tell me, it is a string or integer?
Integer.
Now tell me, it is a string or integer?
String.
In double quotes,
Okay.
it's string.
Yeah. So now tell me, what is this thing? Now tell me, this is a string or some invalid data type?
Invalid. Invalid.
Now tell me, what is this?
String.
String.
Now tell me, what is this?
String. String.
Exactly. If you are writing the things inside the double quote, guys, you can mute. Inside the double quote, that is the string value. Okay. The same thing here. You can see it here. The hello world TT, that is the string. That is the string. Okay. Now number I think you know very well. Okay, so 1, or this is 2, or 24, or 889. This is the number, right? This is the number. Okay, and you can also, the decimal is also a number, something like. Okay, now the boolean value. What did you mean by the boolean? What are the values of the boolean?
0 and 1.
True or
False.
True and false.
0 and the 1 is the binary, right? The computer will understand. But
Yes or no?
yes or no, true false, right? Generally true false, right? The baseline is true false, right guys? True or false, the boolean value. Now null, there is one also null, you can see it here, null. So null is also one data type here, null. If anything is not decided, right, and you are passing as a null value, okay, so we can pass this thing as a null. So null I have passed. Sometime we have some field, let's suppose account number, or something like phone number. You are not passing any value there, so in the backend it will take a null value. Okay, so this is one type of the JSON. Okay, now array, which is very very important. Array, so array is the sequence of same character, okay, you can see it here. In the square bracket we are writing the array. So let's suppose we are storing 1 comma 2 4 5. So this is an integer array, int array. Okay, this is an integer array. Okay, if you are writing this thing, storing the string value like that, string value Vikas or Rahul or Mayank, okay, so you can see this is the string array, based on the data type only, that particular data type value should be stored. If you are creating integer array, then you have to store only integer. If you are storing what do you say, a string, then it is a string array. String array. Now we have object array also. Object array also. What did you mean by the object array? In the object array, we can store the objects like string also, integer also. Okay, that is the object array. Let's suppose I'm storing the integer and the name also. Okay, and some alpha numeric also, like 5 6 something like that, and gosh. Okay, if you go here in the Google and type here, you can see this concept is same in Java also, C#, also, in any language. If you open any of the application, here you can see here JSON array is an object which contain the similar type of element. Similar type of element. Why it asking similar type of element? You can see it here. If you want to store integer, then you have to store only integer. If you want to store only string, then you have to only store the string. If you want to store only object, then you have to store only object. So array contain the similar type of element. Okay. Now let's discuss one point in array. One point that is very important. Let's suppose you have created one array. Let's suppose this is your array. This is your string array. Let me move this screen up. This is your string array. Inside the string array, you have store. I'm storing one more name, Priya, and one more name, Anjali. Okay. Okay. So this is your string array, right? But in the real time, in the in the backend, every value is stored inside the particular index. Okay, so you can see. Let me draw one picture. Draw one picture. Guys, if you understand the JSON type, then it will easy to easy to learn actually. Blank diagram. Let me save. Yeah. So I have created this array, string array. Internally, how the things are aligned, let me explain you. This is your one box. Okay. This is your second box. This is your third box. This is your fourth box, and this is your fifth box. Okay. In the first box, what value is assigned? Vikas. I will assign Vikas here. Okay. In second box, Rahul. Rahul. In third box, Vijay. Okay. In fourth box, Priya. And in fifth box, Anjali, I think. Anjali. Okay. So you can see it here. There are multiple string value. Vikas, Rahul, Vijay, and Priya. and Anjali is stored, right? So internally we have the boxes, separate box. Inside that box, particular element is stored. Okay. Now guys, if I will ask you that what is the length of this array?
5.
5.
The 5 is the length of this array, correct? Right. So if I'm increasing the value, I'm storing here one more value, Geeta. Now tell me what is the length of this array?
6.
6.
6. Right. Now tell me if I decrease the value, what is the length of this array?
4.
4. Right. So based on the size, right, you can also declare the size of the array, something like that. In array 5, or declaring the size of the array. The size of the array means you have 5 box. Inside the 5 box, you will assign the value. Okay. So this is the length of the array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now guys, there is one thing, index, right? The index. So index means at which location it is located. Index means at which location it is located. So index is start from the 0. Index is start from 0. Okay. So this is your 0 index. This is your first index. This is your second index. This is your third index. This is your fourth index. So if I ask you, could you please find the length of this array? Then what is the length of this array?
Five.
Yes, length will start from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the index means location of that particular element. So index is start from 0. Now tell me what is the position, sorry, what is the index of this string array? What is the index? What is the index of this string array? The total index. Can I say 4?
5.
4.
Because it started from 0. Right? The same thing, if you open the Java T point, here you can see it here. The length, let's suppose there are 9, 10 element. The array of length is 10 and index. The index means the position of the element. 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, 4 index, 5 up to 9. So guys, can you tell me the formula of the index based on that? What is the formula of index then? Can I say length of array minus 1?
Yes.
Can I say like that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the array. Array means it stores the similar kind of element. It stored the similar kind of element. You can see I have stored the same kind of element here, integer and the string value, and here I have also shown you the object. This is the object. Here you can see this is the okay, let me create the array here. This is one array and this is one array. This is the array object. Array object, because this is the storing string. Also you can see key value pair, like so. This is the object. This is the object. The object means, next point will come to here. Object means key value pair. Object means key value pair. Okay guys, let me explain you one thing. How do you create an object, JSON object? How you can create the JSON object, and I told you what is the JSON object. JSON object is key value pair. Object means key value pair. Key value pair. And to create the object, we have to use open curly bracket and close curly bracket. To create the JSON object, you have to use open curly bracket and close curly bracket. Inside that, we are writing the key and value. Let's suppose name and then value. This is the name, and here I am passing the another value. Let's suppose surname. Okay, surname. Okay, I'm passing the another value. Another value is phone number. So this is an object. This is an object. If you want to create the object, you have to use open curly bracket and close the curly bracket. Inside that, you can create the key value pair that is known as a JSON object. Okay, and one more thing. So I told you, if you are creating the JSON object, now did you get the idea why I'm asking this thing as an object? Because this is your object. You can see it here. If anything, it start with curly bracket and close with curly bracket, that is the JSON object. This is your JSON object. Inside the JSON object, we are passing multiple key and value. And to write the key and value, you have to use some protocol. You have to use some protocol, and that protocol is you have to pass the key inside the double quote. You can't write the key, in something like that. You will get the syntax error. You can see it here, column expected. You will get the syntax error, and when you try to connect with the server, it will give you the error message. So let's suppose I'm trying to connect with the server. So this is your JSON object. Let's suppose I am not using the double quote here in the key and trying to connect with the server. Let's see, 400 bad request. So that you are pass the bad request in the request body. You have to follow the protocol. The protocol is, if you are using any key, you have to use the double quote. Okay, now after that, you have to use the colon as well to define the value. If you are using like that, you can see again you will get the bad request. So if you don't know this thing, the writing format of JSON, you can't create the successful JSON request. Okay, so you have to use the colon. Okay, after that, let's suppose you pass the value. You pass the value. After that value, if there is a next key and value, next statement is there, then you have to pass the comma at the end. If there is not any next value, means not any other key is there in your request body. So can you see it here? Any other key I have used after the first name? Is there any key?
No.
No. So can you see it here? It will give you the error message in the red color. Trill the comma, trilling comma. It will give you the warning. You can see the message. Trill comma, because there is not any next statement is there in your request body. So you have to remove the comma. Now you can see there is not any error message. Now let's suppose you have the next statement. Can you see it here? Then you have to use the comma. Let's suppose you are not passing the comma here. So it will give you the error message. Sometimes we are the human being, right? When we are creating the request, by mistakenly it's happen, right? You will get the error message, expected comma. So that means you have to pass the comma, because after the prefix we have one more key and value, that is surname. That is the surname. Okay, so guys, tell me, based on my explanation, I have to pass the comma here or not after the ID?
No.
No, because it is the end of the statement. If there is the next value, then you have to pass the comma. Otherwise, you don't have to pass. Right? So this is, if you are not following the, if you are not writing the correct syntax, you will get the 400 bad request, bad syntax error message. Now guys, this is the basic syntax rule to create the JSON request. Now guys, this is the JSON object, or what is this? What is this?
JSON object.
JSON object, because it is open curly bracket and close the curly bracket, you can see, and that is the definition of the JSON object, right? And you can see this is one JSON object. Inside this JSON object, if I expand inside this JSON object, I have used the multiple key and value pair. Clear? Now tell me guys, now tell me, array, this is array or JSON object? Tell me. This is the address array or JSON object?
It is an array.
JSON
Both
object?
an array and JSON object.
So it is an address array. You can see I am using the square bracket, right? So array means, what did you mean by the array? Why I have written the multiple things here? Array means we can store the things. That's why we are creating the array. So guys, tell me, you want to store any You want to store apple. You want to store apple. How did you can store the apple? You need one bucket. You need one bucket. Inside that bucket, you will store the apple. Right? Right? You can store the multiple apple. Right? Let's suppose you have one single bowl. Single bowl. In single bowl, how many apple you can store? One or two apple? Right? Because their capacity is less. But inside the array, inside the bucket, you can store the multiple object, multiple apple, right? So you can see it here. I have created the array. I have used the square bracket. This is an array, address array. What is this? This is an address array, and inside this address array, I have stored the object, JSON object. Inside this address array, I have stored the JSON object. This is your JSON object, right? And this is your array.
Because if it is an array, it should that address and it should have that braces, right? Like single dimension.
Yeah, this is the single dimension array. Single dimension array.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm asking near address. It should contain that braces, right? Like single dimension.
This
Array
one?
means near address.
This one, the square bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are using the array. So how do you like? We have to ask server like how you are storing the array. So this is the indication to store the array, the square bracket, the open square bracket and the close square bracket. And inside the array, you can store the multiple object. Okay, so if you want to store the multiple array, let's suppose I'm also living in Mumbai, I'm also living in Gandhinagar, I'm also living in let's suppose Kolkata. I have the multiple address, right? So in that case, I want to store the multiple address. So I have to store only one address, that is Delhi address. Okay, if you want to store multiple address, how you can? So use the comma and again add the another value, that is, let's suppose Mumbai. Clear? Mumbai. Now you inside this address array, you are storing the multiple object, one object, and this is your second object. Clear? Now the interview, they will ask you that can we create array inside the JSON object? Tell me. Can we create array inside the JSON object?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
So you can see it here. This is the JSON object. And inside this JSON object, I have created address array or not? I have created, right? That means that inside the JSON object, I can create the array. I can create the array.
Sorry, one question
Yeah,
here.
ma'am.
Why we are going specifically for address field? We are storing it in array.
Come again. Come again.
I mean, specifically, why the address fields alone are stored in array here?
Okay, that thing is again decided by your client. Which data type you have to use? Like let's suppose, ma'am, let's suppose to store the first name for this particular object, right? We need only one name, right? And some values are there. You know, can we have the multiple address or not? Tell me. We
Yes.
have. Can we have multiple phone number or not?
Yes.
Right. So if the client is thinking that for the same key, if user has the multiple value, then we can create the array data type. So that client can store multiple. Okay. So this thing is decided by the client. This thing we are not deciding. That address, why address is an array only, why not some other field? Okay, so this thing is decided by the client. The client and the developer has implementing this thing. In the requirement document they will mention that the data type, what data type it is. Okay, so let's suppose they are using some other data type, let's phone number. Then you have to, the developer has to create the phone number as a array. Now simple, because this is not, you are not creating this array, you are only applying the scenario. This thing is decided by your client or developer who is implementing based on their coordination and the discussion. They, they are deciding this thing. We are just the tester. Okay, we are just following the requirement sheet. Okay, so this thing is predefined. Okay, got your answer, ma'am?
Yes, Vikash.
Okay, now I will take another 5 minutes, guys. I will take another 5 minutes, so do not leave. So you can see it here. I have now second question. Inside the JSON object, you can store the array. Agree, you can. Inside the JSON object, can we store multiple array? Let's suppose I have created one object. Inside the object, I have created address array. Can we create some other array also or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can. If your requirement is asking that your client is asking inside this particular request, we have the multiple array, then developer has to implement that thing. We can. Okay, now the another question, inside the JSON array, can we have the JSON object? Inside the array, can we have the JSON object?
I don't think so.
You can see it here. I have created the array.
Yes,
Is
we
I am
can
storing
have.
JSON object or not?
Yes,
It's object. No?
we have JSON object inside array.
So yes, in guys you can mute. In array we can create the multiple object also. Okay, now I am asking the few of the, I think we can't start the mapping sheet today. So in tomorrow class, I will, you can see it here, guys. So you asked me now, who is decided this thing? You can see it here. What data type? The first name is a string. You can see it here. A string data type, right? This thing is not we are deciding. The smoker, the boolean, smoke date, null value, date of birth, string value. This thing is decided by your client actually. They will provide the document. Okay. So
But
this thing
why?
I,
But
yeah.
it is not mentioned like JSON object, right? Inside JSON object, it has to be. It is like individually mentioned like first name, string, body. So, uh, is it like the way we write like everything in the JSON object?
Yes, they will define what format you have to use. Here you can see the application content type is application JSON, right? So you have to use the JSON format and you have to create the request body by using this mapping sheet.
No, because that JSON object, because everything is included within the JSON object, that string, whatever is there
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
the mapping
Everything will
is.
be inside the JSON object.
So
Inside.
everything will be always writing inside JSON object only in the real time.
Yes, 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 yes. In the real time. Yes. In the JSON object, we are writing everything. If it is REST API and using JSON format, so you have to write inside the JSON object. Okay. So I think we can start this mapping sheet tomorrow. Sorry, tomorrow is which day? Oh, Friday. Saturday. So okay, no problem. We can meet on Monday. Okay. So on Monday we can discuss the mapping sheet. Okay. So I will share you this mapping sheet. You can do the practice and try to do it at your end. Okay. So before that, let me ask few of the question, and you have to ask me what error message, how you can resolve the error message. Guys, why this error message is?
Because the comma is not there. Because after that
Where?
there is married.
After married. Yeah.
Okay, I have to put the comma. Okay, okay, I will do the multiple changes. Let me do that here. Let me, and now I will ask you the question, because this thing is very important while writing the format. Now tell me, guys, one by one resolve the issue. There are multiple error
Yeah.
in your request
Thirdly,
bot. Now try
In
to
the
resolve.
surname, there is no
double quotes need to be there. Yeah.
double quotes because as per
Double
the
quote. Okay.
format of JSON object,
It is still again error root.
type
So
type there should be a colon.
where?
Type
Type
after gender.
after gender, the type is
Okay,
there.
colon.
So colon,
Okay, right,
yes,
right,
as
right,
per the
right. Correct.
JSON
Now,
object.
Because it is indicating in red color, right, in right hand side. Is that means that line is having an error?
yeah, yeah, that line.
Oh,
Smoker.
okay.
Or
In
that
smoker
line, or
double.
above or below line sometime. Okay.
That is
Just
only
scroll.
the indication, right? To
Yeah, yeah, indication.
okay.
Indication.
Can you
Now
scroll down?
another error. Yeah.
Yes, in smoker.
No, not
Double
in. No, it
double
is
quote.
there.
Double quote.
I
It
think
is there.
single quote is there.
No, that false is not having.
Exactly. You have to pass the double quote.
Okay.
Okay. Now other message. Still, I have the message red color. You can see.
But
The
after
Here, comma is
comma,
there after the flower braces. Second, after street, one more
Yeah.
address.
yeah.
There, the comma should be there.
Okay.
And here
Now
it
there
has
is
to be
one
removed.
error.
Here it has to be removed below one.
Why I have to remove? There is phone number, ma'am.
But for phone
before
number, we are given after the square brackets, right? The comma should be given.
Exactly. This phone number is not coming inside this array, right? So after this JSON object, we
Array.
don't have the another object for the address, right? So it is not part. The phone number is not part of this array. That's why we have to remove the comma, right? Okay. The last question. Last question, guys. You can please mute. The last question. The last question. Okay, what I am doing here. Give me a time. Remove quickly. Remove the things. Now tell me, guys, error messages. Try to resolve.
Yes, because so in name, the close brace is missing. I mean, the close,
Where name?
Double
the first
quotes,
name,
first
first
name.
name.
Rahul test.
Yeah. Double
Without
quotes is
inverted
missing.
comma is required.
Okay, then
And
Date of
Okay, third line is correct.
And
Yeah, date of
data
birth.
birth,
Before date of birth, comma need to be
comma
there
is
at
required,
line.
and client
Where
also.
here I have
Af-
already applied comma.
No,
Comma is
No,
after
client.
client.
Type
Yeah,
client.
after
In type.
client should
After
be
Here
comma.
Yeah,
Yes.
here.
okay. Again showing error.
mail should be
Mail also
comma.
Okay,
comma.
mail also. Okay, now
And false, you have to write.
what I have to write false in the form?
Ever
Ever
divorcee, it should be
divorcee.
in double quotes.
Okay, double quote, right? Right? No,
Yeah.
no. Again, one error message here.
You're removing the street in front of state. Which state you have to write?
You have to pass the value, right?
Value, pass the value.
I have passed the value. Now again error.
After that array, this one comma
Yes,
should be
it
there.
should be comma.
Phone number. Phone number should not be in brackets. It should be in double string. Double.
After the square bracket, comma should be there here. Above phone number.
The phone number square
Yeah.
bracket comma required.
It, at at last also.
Here, here.
Yes.
Yes, there comma.
Oh. So and here
That is.
Double quotes.
double
Double.
quote
Yeah.
working. Still error.
I think bracket issue is there. After bracket,
Bracket
post bracket. Yeah, comma should not be there.
here.
Before phone number. Before phone number. Closing bracket.
Close
Comma
bracket
should not
is
be
not.
there.
I think
Here.
main JSON object flower braces is
Because
removed.
ID is automatically will create by the
Okay, let me
browser
remove the
API.
ID. Okay, again it's showing error for this one. Should I remove phone number, comma?
Comma should be
Yeah,
removed.
comma should be.
Comma should be
It's showing
removed.
error.
The main
Close
JSON
brace.
file crossing flower
Closing
braces
brace,
is
not
not there.
Exactly. We have to close the thing. Okay. So this is the way to create the JSON object. Okay, which we have to follow. Okay. So please do the practice, and today I'm going to share you this mapping sheet. You can map this thing into your
Integer means even it will include decimal, any value we can give in that this one
yeah,
integer when it
yeah.
is.
Sometime the client will specify it is whole number or positive integer or negative, depends on the requirement. Okay.
Okay, but it is considered as integer only, like int.
Yeah,
We have to
integer.
declare.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes they will define the integer, and in the integer, we have decimal also. I
Yeah.
think positive and positive negative also. So we start passing as per the requirement. In the requirement, they mention the integer, but they have not specified, right? So we are applying the scenario as a negative also, decimal also, and you are getting the error message. So you are connecting with the client, and then you are clearing your doubts that you are passing integer value. Integer value means the negative value also, decimal also, and you, when you are passing this value, you are getting this error. So could you please correct me, this is a bug or functionality? Then your client, or whoever the concerned person, they will explain you, okay, this is the mistake in the requirement. The in the integer means the whole number,
Okay.
right?
Then
If
character.
it is saying, yeah, this could be the functionality, we can also pass decimal or negative number, then it is a bug. Okay.
Okay, if character we have to send, like suppose male or female. In most of the cases we write F or M. So that is also considered as a string, or for character will pass in
Means
there is a
you have to select the
data type.
male or female.
Yes, it is like M or F.
Yeah, I will explain you, ma'am, in tomorrow class. That comes
Okay.
under the Boolean data type. Either you can select this value, either this value. Okay, so that I will explain you. No worry.
No,
Okay,
if any
so today I'm
character
going to
value has
share
to be
you
sent, character, single character, then
single letter than a string. Single.
string only. Okay.
Yeah, string only. Okay, so in tomorrow class I will explain you how you can map the requirement. So today I'm going to share you this mapping sheet. If you can do the practice, then you can. Otherwise I will explain you this thing in the next class. Okay.
Vikas sir,
Okay,
Srini,
guys. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Vikas sir, Srini here.
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Actually, I have tried to practice that put and post method and all, but I am getting that authentication error still. Uh,
Mhm.
I couldn't solve that actually. Can you please help me?
Which application you are using, sir?
In Postman, I'm telling. In Postman,
No, no. Which service URL you are using?
that is
You-
gores.co. That
Okay,
you are.
that one. Okay, sir. Let me help you. Let me help you. Okay, if you are using that application, so let me open that URL. Here, when you, I have provide, let me provide you the link. I have already provided, I think, in the previous classes. So I will provide the link of this application. When you go down here, you will see, click here to get the access token. Click on that link. Click on that link. You will get the authentication required. Either click on Google, Facebook, GitHub, select any option. It will ask you to integrate with your Gmail ID. If you select any of like whatever email ID you are using, it will generate the token for you. So save this token in your machine and you can pass inside the bearer token here. Go to the where you have to pass auth, select auth, bearer token and pass the token. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Uh,
Yeah.
Because
Vikash,
I'm not getting DB JSON file.
Sorry.
I'm not getting DB JSON file that when I'm means
Okay. Can you?
yeah.
Okay. You can share your screen, ma'am. I will help you. Guys,
Vikash,
the class is over. Class is over. If you have any query, then you can ask me. Otherwise, you can end the call and you can do
Yeah.
your work. Okay.
One small question I want to ask because yeah.
Yeah, sir. Tell me.
Is there any command to know the base URL of for this db.json file? Any
No,
command
no, 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 no. We
like
have
only
to,
once? Yeah.
because in that you, sir, you don't have to spend a lot of time behind this thing, because in the real time this thing you are not doing. You are not creating the server, you are not starting the server. This is the development work actually. Just for the practice purpose you can use this thing, just only
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah. Okay.
If you want to analyze the thing, try to analyze the scenario. Don't analyze this server actually, because this will not use in the real time.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, at only once this address came localhost and then file name. Later it won't come. It was not coming. Okay, I've noted that. No problem.
Okay.
Because one general question.
Mhm.
Actually, I was practicing that post put get delete methods all. My thing is, I through in employees that thing right. I through post I created some created some employees. My doubt is whenever we create that new employee should in backend it should get added into the server right automatically. So
Uh,
when I
Sorry,
was
last
doing
sentence. Can you please repeat the last
yeah,
sentence?
yeah.
The post.
Thing is, in employees, I have created new, added new employers, and I was new IDs also was generating. So
Mhm.
that time, whenever we create in backend, those members should get added to the server automatically, right? Only then,
Yeah.
when you're inquiring again through get, it will fetch from the database, right?
Yeah, so whenever, let's suppose your application is implemented, the developer has implemented the application. Now the application come to the testing site. Now you are start doing the testing and you are creating the users or any resource as per your requirement. You are creating any resource. So when you connect with the server, it will check all the things like URL and the bodies, right? It will check the syntax, all the thing. If it is valid, then it will give you the successful response, right?
Yes, yes.
When you get the successful response, that means that that particular data is get created inside that the particular resource which you have passed in the URL, right? So when you create the data, if you want to cross check, then you can use the get method. Then it will again connect with the same resource and fetch the data. with if you want to whatever the filtration you want, based on that it will fetch the data.
Yes, because actually I got that point, and in Postman it is I'm getting the successful response also. My question is, but in db.json file, right? There it is not get storing. I mean, in the command prompt while I'm creating, I could see in the server it is running like my new
No,
IDs or something.
when you hit the API in the Postman, it should also get created into your db.json file. It should. So
Yeah,
I
that
think
it is not. Yeah.
you can reload the things or close the things and try it fresh. It should be. If you want to see, then I can see you here. Let me ma'am, let me share my screen. After then you can share.
Because
Give
it
me.
should append our new data, you're saying in db.json whenever we are creating new things. That's what you're saying, right? In db.json.
You have not append the employee and the income.
I have did that. That one I have did. And additionally, I'm adding few other employees. That should also come in the
Okay,
db.json.
let me show you.
Okay.
So I have shared my screen. Okay, so this is my db.json file. So when you open the command prompt, how did you find the db.json file? When you open the command prompt, you will see the directory path. Everyone,
Yes.
see the directory path. You have to go to this directory path, see user admin. So I am going to see users admin. You will see the db path here, db.json. So open this file. You can see it here, the whatever the object get created, you can see it here. So let's suppose I am creating the new data using the post method. Let's suppose API test and today date. What is the today date? 30 July. July. 30 July, right? And the email ID is 30 July. I have passed. Sorry, right? Now I am trying to create the data. Let's see it get created inside your db json or not. So data get fetched. When you try to use get call, you are able to also fetch the data. When you go to the db.json file, this is your db.json file. When you save, okay, let me close this thing and let me open. Give me a second. AP Zulai, this one. AP Zulai. Can't find. Oh, strange. Let me save this thing.
Yes,
Close.
because this is what happening to me.
Okay, okay. I got your point. So let me call the get method and call. So let me check. My object is inside. Possible. It is not inside the. Give me a second, ma'am. So where is the? Let me close everything actually. Let me close everything. It's confusing me actually. Okay, so I'm trying to create the data post method I have used. Inside the post method I have used the employees. So let me check the, okay, let me close the server and let me again start my server and let me do it at a fresh point. Let me start the server. What is this command to start your server? This is the command to start your server. So let me copy this command and go to the here and paste it here. Now your server can start. Okay, your server is started. Let me copy the URL. Copy the URL. Go here and guys, you can pass the correct URL here. Pass the correct URL here. Oh man. Okay, what I will do? Not copy. Okay, let me go here. Okay, right click. Okay, I have copied the thing. Let me terminate the control C y terminate, and again start my server. I have started my server, and this is your URL. First name I'm trying to create, Delhi, phone number is correct, everything is correct, and let's suppose 123, and let me call. Your data get created. Let me call the get API, and let me use this call and go here and save it. So you can see it here in the get call. You are able to fetch the data 123. Now you can go to the db.json file. So I'm going to db open in the notepad plus plus, and here let me search. Can you see here, ma'am?
Oh, yes, Vikash. Yeah. Okay. So we should
Okay,
not keep this
sometimes
notepad open, Vikash, while creating in Postman.
can
Is that
open,
something like?
you can open.
Oh,
So let me again try 4 and create. So I have created the new data, right? And this is the 4. Can you see that data? 1 2 3 4. And let me go. It will ask you the file has been modified by another program. Do you want to reload? Yes. Then you will search that thing. You will see 4. You can see it here.
okay, perfect. Yeah, this is what.
Okay. Yeah, ma'am.
So
Somewhere.
what are the updates we are making? Also, it will come here, right, Vikash?
Yeah. All the
Okay.
data, if it is get created, then created, the new data will display here. If it is updated, then it will go and check the that updated. You will see the value there. Okay.
Okay, okay. I will try again from my side then.
Hello.
Hello.
हाँ कहाँ पे हो सर? Sorry guys. So yeah, the other person, I think one ma'am having one issue.
Yes, because I got the DB
You got
now,
that?
but
Mm-hmm.
it is getting open with Visual Studio by default.
Okay, you can right click and open with and open that thing in the notepad.
Open with option means no options are other options are there.
Can you share your screen?
I'm sharing it.